You the people have spoken. After tallying up the votes between Team Kyoto and Team Hokkaido, Team Kyoto has come on top. As such, in this video, we'll be featuring Kyoto and also Niigata style soy sauce ramen that features a lot of pork back fat. You heard that right. For those of you new to the channel, I'm Frank from AM Ramen. I was born in Tokyo and I eat anywhere from 300 to 350 bowls of ramen a year. I love ramen. Now, as mentioned, we're gonna be looking at two heavyweight ramen areas, Kyoto and Niigata, two very specific styles of soy sauce ramen that feature pork back fat, seabura. Without further ado, let's first dive into the Kyoto style. Kyoto is a ramen powerhouse. They have a deep ramen scene and various types of ramen. Now, this is one of those types. This is seabura shoyu ramen, which is basically pork back fat soy sauce ramen. So this style of pork back fat ramen was supposed to have started at a ramen restaurant called Masutani. This is not Masutani ramen specifically, but they're very much trying to mimic a pork back fat soy sauce ramen from Kyoto. It's all over the packaging here. Starting with the soup. It's a nice bold soy sauce flavor, but still relatively light. Now, this doesn't get as pork back fatty as some of the ramen you'll see in Kyoto, but it's just enough. Like, pork back fat can make the broth a little bit sweeter, and I'm getting that sweetness here. I personally don't like a crazy amount of pork back fat on my ramen, so this instant ramen is perfect. There's just enough. They usually use relatively thin, straight noodles, and that is the case here in the instant ramen. Let's give them a go. Negi are spring onions, and Kyoto is really famous for having quality spring onions. And here they're using Kyoto Kujo Negi, special type of spring onion. There's also a very small hint of spice, and it's wonderful. The chashu pork is paper thin. I think relative to this being instant ramen, it's nice. I'm a soy sauce ramen guy, and that did it for me. So we're moving on to Niigata now. Niigata's version of their seabura shoyu ramen. Let's see how it's different, similar, and how it matches up to the Kyoto one we just had. Here's a little bit of background information on Niigata Prefecture. Like Kyoto, they're also a ramen powerhouse. But within Niigata Prefecture, there are 4 big styles of ramen, even 10 styles of ramen, if you add up all the minor ramen styles. So Niigata also kind of claims this style of ramen. So here are some differences between Kyoto and Niigata style. The Niigata style is a heavier shoyu broth. It also in Niigata has a stronger niboshi or dried baby sardine fish flavor. In addition to that, they also use thicker, almost udon-like noodles. That's why I'm waiting 5 minutes here too. The last one, the Kyoto style, was only 3 minutes. Starting with the soup. So compared to the Kyoto one that we just had, this one is not as sweet. It's also got a bit saltier, like bolder soy sauce flavor, as it should, because that's what this style is all about. Not as in your face as it can be, with that niboshi or dried baby sardine flavor, but there is a little bit of a fish accent. As you can see, the noodles are indeed thicker. They're also not as round, a little bit flatter and more square shaped. Anyway, let's give them a slurp. Yeah, similar consistency to the previous one, and you would expect nothing less because it's the same company, but it is cool how they've got a different shape here. As you can see, as I'm pulling it up, I'm just picking up little bits of that negi. For me, this is a tough one. I don't know which one I'm gonna side with, but I'll let you know very soon. Now, as to the seabura, the most important part. Just like the previous Kyoto style, it looks like the same amount is there. And fair enough, of course. It's coming from the same company. I'm pretending I'm in a ramen shop. Excellent. So the question is, who started the cha-cha-ke? Was it Kyoto or Niigata? Who knows? I would say that most ramen historians will probably lean towards Kyoto, but there are some people that also say that Niigata might have been the one that started it. I like both of them for different reasons. So the Kyoto one, a little bit on the sweeter side, a lighter soy sauce broth with just enough pork back fat to give it even more sweetness. The noodles were thin, they mopped up that broth well, and this took me back to Masutani a little bit. Now on the other side, we've got Niigata. This was a bolder soy sauce flavor with thicker noodles and a slight accent of that niboshi fish. Both of them had about the same amount of seabura, so I wouldn't have to grade them, I think, based on that alone. Now, Between the two, I think I like the Kyoto style. Normally, I'm all about the niboshi fish, or at least having a stronger accent, but it didn't come through in this one as much as I thought it might. This one did it for me. Hopefully my descriptions did them both justice. Would you prefer Kyoto or Niigata? Let me know in the comments below. Now coming back to this, I don't like my ramen to have an insane amount of pork back fat. I might get a heavy pork back fat or Salbura ramen once in a while. It can look like this if you really have a lot of pork back fat. Or even like this. Just a little bit, as they had in the instant ramen here, I think is a perfect amount for me. As promised, in the next instant ramen video, we'll be looking at Hokkaido style ramen. Both a light Hakodate style shio and also a miso ramen from Sapporo. All in all, I had a lot of fun making this video. I hope you had a lot of fun watching it. And if you did, please smash that like button. This is Frank from 5 AM Ramen reminding you that Tokyo is the only place where you can get great ramen at 5 AM. That includes instant ramen as well. Thanks a lot for joining. Look at this. So the noodles, yeah, are thicker. There's the chashu. God, been looking for this thing for years. Hiding in the corner. I'm gonna put him over there for a second. And it's rumored that there was a Kyoto University professor that had told this ramen shop, why don't you try this? Why don't you try adding pork back fat? And it stuck. Sometimes we can't always separate the legend from facts, but it's fun, the lore behind this. What else does it say here? We got